Microsoft Teams is more than just a chat tool. It's where real collaboration happens, decisions are made, and projects move forward. But if you're only using it to send messages and join Teams meetings, you're missing out on features that can save you serious time and help your team work more effectively. Over the past few years, I've helped millions of professionals get more out of Microsoft 365 through my YouTube tutorials. With over 8 years of experience in management and corporate consulting, I've worked closely with teams and clients who rely on Microsoft Teams every day. And one thing has become clear. Most people are only using a small slice of what Teams can really do. So in this guide, I'm sharing 12 practical tips that will help you reduce daily friction, collaborate more smoothly, and actually get things done with less stress and more clarity. The very first tip is a brand new feature and helps you with a common problem. You drop a message in a channel, ask a question, and then silence. Or even worse, someone replies 2 days later and you're already missing it. But in Teams channels, things move fast, and if no one tags you, it's easy to miss replies that actually matter to you. And that's where the new follow thread feature comes in. It lets you track specific conversation threads in a channel. So instead of watching the whole channel, you'll only get notified when someone replies to the exact thread you care about. And here's how it works. Open Microsoft Teams on your desktop app and navigate to the channel containing the conversation you want to follow. Find the specific message or thread you want to track. Hover over the message and click the More options, the 3 dots in the top right corner. Then select Follow Thread from the pop-up that appears. You'll see a quick pop-up in the bottom left corner confirming it's now being tracked. And from now on, you'll see updates from that thread in your activity feed. And you can also use the new Followed Threads filter in the Activity tab to only focus on those conversations. And if you want to stop tracking a thread, just go back to the message, click the 3 dots again and select Unfollow Thread. If that first tip was new to you, there's a good chance you'll get even more value from the practical strategies I share in my Microsoft 365 Productivity Masterclass. It's packed with best practices for Teams and other Microsoft tools you use every day, so you can save time, reduce stress, and actually finish what matters most. So check the link down in the description. Tip number 2 is one of those things that feels almost too simple, but it's surprisingly powerful. I mean, we all get important stuff in email, client updates, budget drafts, executive decisions. But when you're working inside Teams, it's easy for those emails to stay siloed in your inbox while your team stays out of the loop. Instead of copying and pasting or trying to summarize, there's a much easier way. You can forward emails directly into a Teams channel. And when you do that, the full content and any attachments show up as a post that your team can actually respond to. To make it work, just head to Teams and open the channel where the email should land. Click the 3 dots next to the channel name and then select Get Email Address. Teams will generate a unique email address for that channel, so copy it. Make sure to check the advanced settings in the dropdown to define who can send emails to this address. The default is that only members of the respective team can, but you might want to change this. Now go back to your inbox and forward the message you want to that address. And that's it. The email will appear in the channel shortly as a post so everyone can read and comment on it. This is super handy when you're working cross-functionally. Instead of trying to explain what the email said, just drop the whole thing into the space where your team's already working. It keeps everything centralized and lets your team act on it faster. Speaking about acting faster, this next tip helps you move from I'll do that later to actually getting it done. Because let's be honest, how often do we see a message in a chat and mentally add it to our to-do list and then forget about it entirely? Here's a smarter way that perfectly shows how neatly all the Microsoft 365 tools are integrated. You can turn any message in Teams into a task with just a few clicks. So when someone posts something that requires follow-up, hover over their message. Click the 3 dots in the top right corner and go to the More Actions menu and select Create Planner Task. If you have used this action before, it might show up in the More Actions menu already. A small window will pop up where you can edit the task title. I definitely recommend changing it. Teams will just pull in the first line of the message by default, which rarely makes for a clear or helpful task name. Next, you can set a due date, choose a priority, and decide where the task should go. You can keep it as a private task in Microsoft To Do or assign it to one of your shared planner plans or a shared to-do list if it's already connected to a planner. Once you hit Add Task, you are done. The message is now an actionable task, fully linked and ready to track without leaving Teams or losing context. And what's really helpful is that the full message text gets pulled into the task details automatically. So you don't have to copy, paste, or remember what is it about later. It's a lifesaver for follow-ups, small requests, and all those quick tasks that usually fall through the cracks. Now, just one heads up. While this feature is super convenient, it's not always obvious where your tasks end up or how it syncs across Microsoft To Do, Planner, and Outlook. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. So if you want to really understand how these tools connect and how to build a setup that works smoothly across all of them, I cover that in detail in my Microsoft 365 productivity class. You'll find the link below. As you know, inside Microsoft Teams, you've got the chat section and the Teams section. But have you ever really stopped to think about how different they are? And more importantly, how often you're jumping between the two? You reply to someone in the chat, then switch to a channel to grab a file, then go back to the chat and back to the Teams. It doesn't seem like a big deal at first, but it adds up. And if you're doing it all day, it can start to feel pretty draining. But here's something most people don't realize. You can customize your layout to show both chats and Teams in a combined single view. It's a small setting change that makes a big difference, especially if you're juggling multiple conversations while managing ongoing team projects. Here's how to set it up. In Microsoft Teams, head to either the Chat or the Teams tab. At the top of the left-hand sidebar, click the 3 dots and select Customize View. That will take you to a settings panel where you can switch between separate and combined view. If you choose Combined, Teams will merge your chat and channel conversations into one unified list, grouped under the Chat tab going forward. Your Teams icon will disappear from the sidebar and everything lives in one place. If you want to switch back, no problem. Just open the same menu and click Separate to restore the classic split between chat and Teams. In the combined view, all your conversations are organized in one scrollable list, starting with your pinned favorites, then any custom sections you've created, followed by individual chats, and finally your Teams and channels at the very bottom. This is where the filters at the top become really useful. You can quickly jump to unread messages, channels, chat conversations, or add mentions, which makes navigating the noise much easier. Now, personally, I still prefer the separate view. I like having a clear line between chats and team workspaces. It helps me focus better and keeps the layout feeling less crowded. But if you like having everything in one place and hate flipping tabs, the combined view might be a great fit. Now let's dig deeper into one of the features I just shared. It's especially helpful when you need to cut through the noise on any busy day and focus on what really matters, like actual messages that need your input. Because let's be honest, the activity feed, chat or Teams tabs can get overwhelming fast. You open it and it's full of likes, system updates, replies, and somewhere in there are the messages that actually require action. Here's how to find them fast. In Teams, click the activity bell in the top left corner. By default, it shows everything, but we're going to narrow it down. At the top of that panel, click the Add Mentions button. Now you'll only see messages where someone has directly tagged you, whether that's in a chat, a channel, or a team post. You can use the same type of filters in chats and Teams too. Just open the panel on the left and look for the filter options at the top. It's a quick way to block out the noise and focus only on what actually is relevant to you. Let's stay with one more tip for collaborating in Teams channels, because we all know how much time gets wasted when important information slips through the cracks. Reality is that some messages in a channel are just more important than others. Maybe it's a link, a deadline, a shared folder, or a key decision that people keep asking about. But in a busy channel or chat, even the most important messages get buried quickly. And that's why this tip is so helpful. You can pin a message in a Teams channel so it's always easy to find, not just for you, but for everyone in the team. In Teams, go to the Teams tab or the Chat tab if you have combined the two and open the channel where the message was posted. Hover over the message you want to keep visible and then click the 3 dots in the top right of that message. From the menu, select Pin, and that's it. In some versions of Teams, the pinned message used to appear at the top of the channel, but now you'll often see it just as a small pin icon on the right side of the message. To view all pinned messages, anyone in the channel can click the channel info icon, that's a little folder with an arrow in the top right corner. That opens a panel where all pinned messages are listed. Of course, you can pin multiple messages if you want, like a meeting link, a shared document, a quick FAQ, all in one place. Before looking at the next tip, picture this. You're in a meeting, someone shares an important detail, maybe a deadline, a decision, or a quick update, and you miss it. Maybe you were multitasking, maybe someone interrupted you, or maybe the connection glitched right when it mattered. That's why this next tip is such a lifesaver. Live transcription in Microsoft Teams meetings. It gives you a real-time written record of what's being said while the meeting is still happening. And afterward, you can go back and review the full transcript so you never miss a key point again. Here's how to turn it on. When you're in a meeting, look at the top of your screen and click the 3 dots. That's the More menu. From there, choose Record and Transcribe and Start Transcription. Teams will immediately start generating a transcript in real time. You'll see the text appear on the right-hand side, speaker by speaker. And what's great is that it's not just subtitles. It actually identifies who said what, which makes it easy to follow along or review later. And once the meeting ends, the transcript is saved in the meeting chat. Anyone who attended can go back, scroll through, and even search for keywords to find exactly what they need. This is especially helpful if you're in back-to-back meetings and don't have time to take detailed minutes, or if you're working in a second language and want to double-check what was said, but also if you simply want to stay present in the discussion without scribbling things down. Just one small note: your organization needs to have transcript enabled in the meeting policies. If you don't see the option or if it's grayed out, check with your IT admin, they can turn it on centrally. Now let me know in the comments if this is also something that happens to you and not just me. You start replying to someone, then get pulled into a meeting or another message and forget all about that half-written reply. It happens to me all the time, especially when I'm trying to write something thoughtful that takes a bit more time. And that's why I love this tip. You can pop out any chat in Microsoft Teams into its own window. I use it as a way to set a little visual reminder for myself. Hey, come back to this later. I'll move the window to the side of my screen, finish what I need to do, and then return when I'm ready. It also works great when you want to keep one conversation open while still checking in on another chat or channel. To do this, in the chat section, hover over the conversation you want to pop out. Either right-click or select the 3 little dots to get to the More menu. And then select Open in New Window and the chat pops into its own window. You can move it anywhere, resize it, or even open multiple chats at once. But sometimes a chat just isn't enough. You need to map something out, sketch a quick idea, or brainstorm visually with your team. And that's where Microsoft Whiteboard inside Teams can really shine. It's an easy way to collaborate in real time, especially when you're working remotely and can't just grab a marker and head to a whiteboard in a meeting room. You don't need a separate app or any setup. It's already built into Teams. To access Microsoft Whiteboard, start or join a Teams meeting. Once you're in it, click the Share button at the top of the screen. In the sharing options, look for Microsoft Whiteboard and select it. A pop-up will open with the ability to choose from one of the many templates it offers, such as one for brainstorming, a Kanban board, or a cause and effect diagram. You can also choose with a blank canvas, and anyone in the meeting can draw, type, add sticky notes, or even drop in images. It's perfect for team planning, process mapping, or capturing input during a brainstorming session. You can use the pen tool to sketch out quick ideas or switch to text boxes if you prefer things typed and tidy. And once you're done, the whiteboard stays available after the meeting ends. You'll find it in the Meeting Whiteboard tab in the top ribbon of the meeting chat. And you can open it again later if you need to review or keep working on it. I really like this because it's one of those tools people often overlook. But once you use it in a real working session, you'll wonder how you ever managed without it. As I just shared, I really like the whiteboard to collaborate in teams. But what I don't like is when Teams meetings get hectic. You might know that you're listening, you're taking notes, and then suddenly someone says your name and you scramble to find the unmute button or your mouse. Over time, I've gotten used to a simple shortcut which does not only save me time, but also has become second nature by now. Just press Ctrl, Shift and M to toggle your microphone on or off. Whether you're in a meeting or a call, it works instantly, even if another window is open or your mouse isn't hovering over the Teams app. I use this constantly, especially when I'm muted but want to quickly jump in to comment or ask something. And since I'm usually taking notes and have my fingers on my keyboard anyway, it's super fast and handy. Now, if you're finding these Teams tips helpful and want to go even further with Microsoft 365, I've got something for you. Just check the link in the description to sign up to my free newsletter. You'll get weekly productivity tips plus a free access to my 7-day mini masterclass where I show my favorite productivity tips for tools like Outlook, OneNote, To-Do, Teams, Planner, and Loop. So you can spend less time managing your work, but getting the right things done and freeing up your time. Another super helpful feature that's completely underused in my opinion helps you collaborate faster without switching tools or losing the flow of a conversation. I'm talking about Loop components in Teams chats. They let you co-write and update content together right inside a message thread. No separate files, no versioning issues, no toggling between apps. So if you're in a chat, just look at the message box. You'll see a small icon that looks like a loop or a circle. Click it and a loop paragraph opens directly in the chat. At the bottom, you can choose what kind of component you want to create. A table, a bulleted list, a checklist, a task list, or any of the other options in the More menu. Type your content right there in the message field and then hit send. The components stay visible inside the chat and everyone in the conversation can edit it live. You'll see updates instantly, just like in a shared document. And the best part about these Loop components is that they aren't stuck in a chat forever. They're automatically saved in your OneDrive and you can open them in the full Loop app if you want to keep working or reuse the content elsewhere. Just click the copy icon in the top right corner of the component and paste it into another chat, an email, OneNote page, or meeting invite. It's really that simple, so go try it out. Now let's wrap up with a feature that's right in front of everyone, but most people never touch it. That little search bar at the top of Microsoft Teams, it's not just for searching. It's actually a powerful command bar that can help you move around faster. Find what you need and get more done without clicking through 5 menus. You just have to know how to use it. Click into the bar or press Ctrl E to jump there instantly and type a /. That opens a list of built-in shortcuts. For example, type /available to instantly set your status to available, /offline to go to offline when you need to focus, and /chat followed by someone's name to quickly start a new chat, or /weather to even show you the forecast in your location or another city if you have downloaded the weather app in Teams. Of course, you can also use the command bar to search across all teams, chats, channels, files, and people just by typing a keyword or name. Now, remember that earlier tip where we turned a Teams message into a planner task and how it synced across To-Do and Outlook? That's just one piece of the puzzle. Getting the most out of Teams is powerful on its own, but once you start connecting it with the other Microsoft 365 tools, that's where things really click. And the best part is that mastering those tools is just as straightforward when you know the right tips. So watch this video next, where I'll show you some powerful planner features that most people completely overlook.